championship. Plays for Scump.
He wins it! He wins it! Scump gets the dub!
One last dance, ladies and gentlemen. This will be my final year competing as a professional Call of Duty player.
Looking around, it's really hard for me, just because I have had a crazy amount of support throughout my whole career, not only by fans, but by everyone here, so thank you. To all my old teammates, thank you. You guys really have molded me into the person that I am today, and it means a lot.
Come on, Scumpy, making my man Karma cry. This is a happy day. We say goodbye to one of the community's greatest of all time, and today we give him his bouquets of flowers. Scumpy shocking the world with his retirement on Monday after one of the best performances we have seen from him in the CDL against Boston on Sunday. Allie, I know you, like the community, were shocked by this announcement. How did you react when seeing this video for the first time?
I woke up late, to be honest, on that day, and I remember checking my phone, and I thought it was a troll at first, because everybody's like, Scump retired, Scump retired. I was like, well, yeah, he's retiring this year. And then I watched the video, and then I started crying like everybody else, and I even teared up at the show open, so I'm gonna need some tissues for the rest of the day.
And it's a happy day, though, here in the studio as we look back and say farewell to the king. He's done it all in his career, from content creation to competing at the highest level every single year. This man never stopped grinding.
Yeah, you know, although OGs have retired, Scump was still here. He was still absolutely frying. You know, when I think about Scump and way back in the day and his impact, like, this guy was taking over games. He was a menace to play against, the original cracked out SMG. It's been 12 years of watching him fry with different iterations of this Optic roster, and you can see his resume here. Like, the guy played forever, won so many championships, and did it at the highest level year in and year out. He was still an incredible player.
Crim 6 still at the top of event wins, but 97 events, 30 of those W's. And then you look at the series count, 466 to 172, over a 70% win rate. And along the way, he banks $1.18 million, Allie.
That is a lot of cash, and you got to talk about the beginning as well, when COD was first starting, and it wasn't really that much money. So you got to talk about the amount of inflation and wins this guy has.
Yeah, I mean, we were competing 30K prize pools at that, and 100K for like the big ones. Like, it's so much bigger now, and he still managed to pull that off. So the guy was dominating for a long time.
And seeing him just on Sunday, it looked like he never lost a step. When I first entered in Black Ops 2, he was putting on highlights like this. Now you're playing against the best of the world when they are now at their highest level as individuals. Yeah. This is the highest level of competition we have seen, and he drops a 7 spree. He clutches up in that final game to give Optic another W.
Yeah, when we talk about tenure and we talk about being one of the greats, right, it has to be over a span of a long time. You have to be able to adapt from title to title, and that's something that Scump did better than like 99% of people. Like, the guy competed for so long with different rosters in different games, running a similar role, and the hardest role to run in Call of Duty as well as an SMG. And you can see here is when they won that major last year. I'm just happy he was able to get it with those guys, as I like to say, the passing of the torch.
Yeah, with Dashy as well, one of the players that he's had a couple wins with, but again, he's been doing this for a long time.
He absolutely has. Scump has been doing this since the beginning. I remember at MLG when we were really just a Halo tournament organization. We brought on this game, Call of Duty. It was on a side station, and there was this little kid making all kinds of noise. He was going by the name of Aches, but so was the other guy next to him, going by the name of Scumpy. Let's take a look back at everything Scump has provided us throughout the years. Most of these are just winning moments. We had him on the side station at the start of his career. Not long later, we put him on the main stage, and this guy, he was good for the multi-kill. He was good for the kill streaks. He was always there in the hunt for that trophy.
Yeah, so many legendary Optic rosters when you think back to like the Merc and Rambo era, and you think when Nadeshot came into the picture, then you had Clay, Formo, and Crim. One constant, though, Puckett, and it was always Scump. This was the guy who was taking over games. He's had a lasting impact because of what he's been able to do, not only as a competitor, but also in content creation, inspiring our scene as a whole. A lot of the competitors you see on this page, he teamed with for so many tournaments. Also went to do great things afterwards as well.
It's amazing to see names like Big Timer on there with 14 tournaments played with him. Nade shot 23, but Allie, everyone in the community is talking about those big three at the top. 51 events with Formal, 45 with Crim 6, 35 with Karma. I think that's the Optic dynasty that every Call of Duty fan grew up watching and will always remember.
Absolutely, and he was the last one of the Optic dynasty in our current CDL, and he's going to say goodbye, but he then passes the torch now to hopefully becoming to start his own dynasty, and Dashy playing 19 times with him. He can now say that should he go on to succeed him, that he was one of the first to be there.
Dashy, one of the younger players to join Scump along the way, but we were talking about it. Scump, he's kind of older than most of the professional athletes that have also played with him. Throughout his career, a number of Pro-Ams. This event, one of his favorites, playing alongside Carl Anthony Towns. And Big Cat goes to Twitter saying, enjoy retirement. Just one of many of the athletes and musicians to wish him well.
Yeah, COD Competitive wouldn't be where it's at today without a lot of people, but a lot of it is due to the fact, like Scump and Nadeshot and these guys who made content. And, if you played Call of Duty growing up, you probably know who Scump and Nate are, right?
Oh, yeah.
You definitely know who Scump is now, and, a lot of these athletes, they played Call of Duty. So when they see Scump retired, it's like huge. It's like, what's going on? This guy's finally stepping down. And when we see these guys at events and things like that, typically they are Optic fans and they're big Scump fans. So, these guys like Scump, they've transcended, and we owe a lot to them for what they've done for our community.
Transcending Call of Duty, transcending gaming, absolutely, as he reaches into the pop culture atmosphere. But looking back at Scump, the man threw the strike. He nailed the backflip. There was nothing he couldn't do. But Nameless, what are you going to remember? What is your favorite memory of Scump?
I think early on, like way back in the day, we're talking like 2011, we were running games. It was me, Liar, Scump, and Bobby, one of Scump's original duos. We were thinking about teaming for that first event, but then me and Liar went to team with two other guys, Maine and Two Quick, shout out to them. But we played these guys in the finals, Scump and Bobby, that same duo with Aches and TP, and they smoked us 6-1. And right there, Scump took over throughout that series. I was like, I know what this guy's going to become. I know how nasty he's going to be. And he went on to become one of the greatest to ever do it, the greatest SMG of all time. But I look back at that match, I'm like, dang, man, this guy really did fry us. We could have been playing together, and he just kept on going in.
Kept on going in, and I remember when Call of Duty had the opportunity to join the X Games, this was a surreal moment for us, right? We were now on the big stage alongside the biggest skateboarders, BMX athletes. Scump, they come off of that Call of Duty championships. They didn't get their dub, but they got it here. And not only once, he got back-to-back gold medals in 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, that was a huge moment in Call of Duty history. Speaking from a pro perspective, going into that tournament, we were all looking at it like, yo, this is our chance to leave our mark in history. The first time Call of Duty's at X Games, esports is getting bigger. We want to win this gold. And, a tough start to the season for this Optic roster, not getting top 2 at champs, but winning gold sort of like righted all the wrongs for the Optic fans throughout this.
And Allie, I of course want to get your thoughts on here because you've come into the scene a little bit more recently, but Scump, he's been the GOAT since you've joined.
And he's still done crazy things, like even me only having like 2 years. I mean, we talk about Warzone. I feel like I'm in history class right now, hearing both of your perspectives. But this was a big moment for me, and I feel like a big moment for COD history as well. Scump proving himself not only on the sticks in multiplayer, but in Warzone as well. The solo YOLO win. I remember everybody asking, hey, Allie, who do you think's gonna win? Oh, I think it's Scump, the king. I'm coming from the competitive side of things. And he did it not only by dominating everybody else, all the content creators, all the Warzone professionals, he did it with the normal competitive classes. Like, he had no reps in Warzone. The last guy he killed was with the Riot Shield. I think Seth would rather be caught dead than with a Riot Shield in his hand.
And even with $1 million already in the bank, you could just see what the wins meant to him. Every single W was prideful. The money, secondary. It was the competition that came first. But Scump, he wasn't just a great competitor. This man is a pure entertainer, one of the first to be able to both compete and crank out YouTube videos on a consistent basis. And now you look back 12, 13 years later, look at the numbers he's amassed. 2.67 million YouTube subscribers, Twitch 1.4 million, Twitter followers 2.2, one of the biggest names in gaming without a doubt.
Yeah, a lot of us, we looked at Scump and all these YouTubers back in the day, and we'd be like, yo, I'm gonna make YouTube videos. I'm just trying to be the best possible. And we would look at them and we're like, yeah, we're going to fry them. But then Scump was the first guy who sort of started to do YouTube and would still destroy you in game, like absolutely fry you. And you're like, okay, so maybe I can actually do this. So big shout out to Scump, inspiring a lot of us to create content, to go make those videos. And what he's become is fantastic.
Thank you, Scump, for everything you've given us. And today, throughout the day, we will be celebrating you. But that's not all we're celebrating. This, of course, is the CDL broadcast. And we have 3 big games. Allie, I know everyone is fired up for that 4:30. Is Scump going to do a watch party for Seattle versus Optic Texas? That, I think, could be the match of the day with Dashy back in the lineup.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, we've already all seen the tweets on the timeline, and it's going to feel a little bit weird, not going to lie, loading into that lobby for that game, too.
We want to thank you all for tuning in today. And of course, if you want to take a moment to thank one of the greatest contributors to what we have in Call of Duty, make sure you're using the hashtag #ThankYouScump. Tell us your favorite stories, and we can be reading some of your replies from the chat live here on the CDL. Scumpy, my guy, thank you so much for everything over the last decade and a half, for being the one to take every interview when the rest of your team was too lazy.
Seth, my love, it saddens me to see you go, but I couldn't be happier for you.
It was an honor to play against you. It was an honor to call your games. And it's an honor to watch you go on your own terms, brother.
Finally, you've retired. You still had some fight left in you. I seen you frying in that last game.
Feels just like yesterday. Myself, Ray, and Will, we're calling your mom to wake you up for scrims.
Back in the day, I remember when I learned about who Scumper Jumper was. I was like, this is the original cracked out SMG.
It was an honor to compete alongside you. It was an honor to compete against you. I'm sure some of your opponents are looking forward to not having to deal with you anymore. Just to see you on that stage, the passion that you bring.
Happy retirement, Scump, the king forever and always.
And we are so thankful for everything that you've helped build with Call of Duty Esports over its entire life.
You're hot, you're talented, you've got a brilliant brain for content.
You've been an entertainer since the beginning, and I know your next chapter is going to be even brighter.
You're going to absolutely crush it, enjoy traveling, doing whatever the hell you want. You're a beast.
The greatest SMG of all time, King Scump.
Thank you for everything you've given us, and we're going to miss you on the competitive side.
It's all for you. So thank you again. Looking forward to seeing what you do next.
You changed the game forever. Your impact on Call of Duty will be felt forever. You're a truly remarkable and special person.
Congratulations.
I just want to thank you for
the impact you've had on the scene.
And never losing your drive.
Congratulations.
Enjoy it.
I love you, pal.